Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to welcome you to today's event, Samarkand, to host the 43rd UNESCO General Conference, a landmark moment for tourism and global outreach. This event is organized by Travel Tomorrow, a Brussels-based media outlet dedicated to news on the travel and tourism industry. As you know from the event description, for the first time in history, UNESCO's General Conference will be held in the ancient city of Samarkand, one of the most culturally rich centers along the historic Silk Road, from 30 October to 30 November 2025 at the state-of-the-art Silk Road Samarkand Conference Center, one of the region's largest and most advanced venues, which recently hosted the historic First Central Asia EU Summit, the Samarkand Climate Forum, and many other high-level gatherings. The General Conference of UNESCO is held every 2 years and brings together representatives from all 194 UNESCO member states, along with observers, international organizations, academics, cultural figures, and civil society. It sets the strategic direction for UNESCO's programs in education, science, culture, and communication, and adopts its biennial budget and policy framework. Notably, this will be the first session of the General Conference to take place outside of UNESCO's headquarters in Paris since 1985, when it was held in Sofia, underlining the symbolic significance of this choice. This is indeed a momentous occasion and a profound honor for Uzbekistan, and provides the country a unique opportunity to showcase its rich historical and cultural legacy to the global community. It also highlights the growing international recognition of Samarkand, not only as a cradle of civilisations, but also as a dynamic hub of cultural diplomacy and sustainable tourism, and a recognition of its unique capacity to bridge heritage, dialogue, and opportunity. Historically, as you know, Samarkand was a melting pot of ideas and knowledge. These unique qualities of Samarkand, complemented with a modern and fast-developing infrastructure, including the opening of a new airport a couple of years ago, make it a highly suitable and popular platform for joint discussion and the search and coordination of the necessary answers to regional and global challenges, as well as a privileged hub for cultural dialogue. We are honored today to have 3 distinguished speakers with us this evening to explore the importance of the upcoming UNESCO General Conference, more generally to discuss the development of the tourism sector in Uzbekistan as part of the country's 2030 strategy, and the personal reflections of the speakers on the city of Samarkand, the crown jewel of the Silk Road. So with that, let me introduce our first speaker, His Excellency Gairat Fosilov, Ambassador of Uzbekistan to the Kingdom of Belgium and the European Union, and to tell us what this means for Uzbekistan to host such a prestigious event. Ambassador.
Thank you, Alberto. Good evening, everybody. So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure and privilege for me to be to address you today and share with you our opinion on upcoming UNESCO event in Uzbekistan and on touristic potential of our country. Let me begin by express our gratitude to the Brussels Press Club and especially to Antonio Buscardini for this timely and valuable initiative and for his long-standing interest to Uzbekistan. I would like to also extend my appreciation to all of you, to our guests, for taking time to be here today with us. As Alberto said, so this year in autumn, Uzbekistan will proudly host 43rd session of UNESCO's General Conference, and it's in ancient city of Samarkand, a city that has for centuries symbolized dialogue, diversity, and openness. This marks a historic milestone. As Alberto said, it's for the first time in last 40 years, UNESCO's most important governing body event will be held outside of Paris headquarters. So you're asking me what's mean for Uzbekistan this event, and I would say that first of all, it's true honor and great responsibility for Uzbekistan. It reflects the growing trust of the international community to our country's capacity and commitment to the global cooperation. For asking your question, I would like to just note that Samarkand was historically, during the centuries, crossroad of civilizations. It was one of the main points of Great Silk Road, and this city served as a meeting point of the world at that time. And it serves not only for trade, but exchange of knowledge, exchange of experience, and interaction of cultures and civilizations. And now we see reinstalling such a role of Samarkand as a center of international exchanges. A part of UNESCO's meeting, which will be second half of this year. Recently, as Alberto said, Samarkand hosted first EU Central Asia Summit, and also before this, a lot of events like World Tourism Organization General Assembly, EBRD annual meeting, and many others. Actually, I can say that Samarkand hosts annually not less than 60 major international events. So really, Samarkand last years became a place of international big events, and it served to international exchanges, to improving the trust and cooperation. And also I would like to say that holding this meeting in Samarkand also it means both recognition of the achievements of new Uzbekistan in the areas of education, science, and culture over the past 7-8 years. And we reached a lot. You know that Uzbekistan undergoing very profound and deep reform process, opened up newly to the world and grounded on its cultural heritage. So and I hope that the Samarkand meeting of UNESCO will serve to the creation of completely new ground for cooperation in the field of education, science, and culture, and to bring this interaction in these areas to the completely new level.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. I'll come back to you a little bit later. Let me bring in Mr. Farhod Faiziyaev. He's joining us live from Tashkent via Zoom. Mr. Faiziyaev is the advisor to the chairman of the Tourism Committee of the Republic of Uzbekistan. Can you hear us?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, very well. Good evening from Brussels.
Yeah, so, thank you.
Yes,
thank you.
Mr. Farhod, tell us, how is Uzbekistan preparing to host such a high-level event, and what are some of the highlights of the program of the UNESCO General Conference?
Thank you so much, dear His Excellency Ambassador, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. First of all, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to the Embassy, Press Club Brussels, and Travel Tomorrow for convening this meeting. I also thank to all participants for making time to join us today in this important event. I am truly honored to be among these distinguished panelists. Before I start, I have to say that I had the privilege of being present when the decision to hold the General Conference in Samarkand was made. At that time, I was part of our permanent delegation to UNESCO, and I was directly involved in in all of these processes. Now you asked me direct question. Turning to the program itself, the General Conference is General Conference is the UNESCO's highest governing body. It meets every 2 years and brings together all member states. They are 194. Over the course of 2 weeks, the conference sets the organization's strategic decision in all areas like education, culture, science, and communication. Some key decisions are made, including the adoption of the program and budget for the next 2 years, as well as the elections to all important governing bodies. There will be plenary sessions, of course, where major debates and votes take place, but also parallel commission and committee meetings focused on specific topics. And then there is the broader ecosystem of the General Conference with vibrant side events, cultural exhibitions, roundtables, and youth forum, which gives young people from whole world a space to contribute ideas and participate in the decision making. It is truly one of the most dynamic moments on UNESCO's calendar. What makes this year so special, of course, is the location. For the first time in 40 years, all of this will take place outside Paris, in Samarkand Silk Road Tourist Complex. And I want to emphasize, Samarkand is no stranger to these kind of high-level events. And the previous speakers already mentioned Samarkand hosted lots of very high-level summits, including Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, UN Tourism General Assembly, annual meeting of EBRD, and many more. Let me also highlight some of major side events and special moments that will accompany the official program. First, the conference on the role of artificial intelligence in the protection of cultural heritage, based on the UNESCO's landmark recommendation on the ethics of AI. Alongside this, Uzbekistan will present its national report on artificial intelligence, showing how we are applying these principles on the ground. Another event is on women's rights and opportunities, focusing on UNESCO's gender equality agenda and showcasing efforts to empower women across the region. One of the major highlights will be the ceremony marking Uzbekistan's accession to the Global Convention on the Recognition of Qualifications Concerning Higher Education. We will also host an award ceremony for the first edition of the UNESCO Uzbekistan Beruni Prize, which recognize outstanding contributions in science by our ancestor. This is a proud moment for us and meaningful contribution to UNESCO's mission. In line with UNESCO's sustainability goals, we are organizing opening of the Green Garden, a symbolic event that underscores Uzbekistan's efforts to reduce the environmental footprint of major conferences and to integrate green practices into all aspects of event planning. In addition to this, we expect diverse program of side events initiated by other member states and UNESCO-led partnerships, which will further enrich the experience. We are expecting almost 50 side events in Samarkand during this 2-week period. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zilayev. Very ambitious plans. I will come back to you in a bit. Let me now turn to Mr. Antonio Buscardini, who has many hats, CEO of Buscardini Communications, founder and editor-in-chief of Travel Tomorrow, and since recently the president of Press Club Brussels Europe. And Antonio, as many of you know, has been covering Uzbekistan for many years, for more than a decade. So he has seen the changes over this time. He recently produced a TV documentary, Embarquement Samarkand, which we will watch in a little bit, which was broadcasted by TV 5 Monde, the leading global French language network, available 24/7 to over 400 million households worldwide, and consistently ranked as one of the top 3 largest television networks globally. So, Antonio, please tell us about your journey with Uzbekistan from the early beginnings and your reflections and experiences with this fascinating country.
Thank you very much, Alberto. And thank you, Ambassador, for joining us today. I need to start by saying a few words about the Press Club. because you mentioned my hats, but indeed I was elected president of the press club 2 months ago. And to say that this year it's also an important year for the press club because we'll celebrate 15 years. So this adventure started 15 years ago. As any international city, there is always a press club. And at the time, the Brussels capital region, together with Visit Brussels and another Portuguese man, President Barroso, President of the European Commission at the time, took the initiative to boost and create a club with the strength of journalists. Particularly, I'm thinking about Maria Laura Franciosi, who is our founding president, and also Laurent Brier, that you know, who is our executive director and the driving force of this club. So it's a club where we welcome journalists, but communicators as well, press officers. So press officers of embassies that I see a few here, and have the possibility to communicate here when they want to be heard in Brussels and organize press conferences. Now I close the parentheses and I go back to the travel and tourism industry. So you asked me about this journey, how it started. It started, in fact, 10 years ago. In fact, at the time, there was an ambassador here, Vladimir Norov, who was those who know he was very demanding, very present, with a lot of energy. And I even have here some pictures, if you might share, that are pretty fun with him, because he basically challenged me to go to Uzbekistan. He took me, and I went to his place, and I traveled around from Tashkent to Samarkand, and he really took his time, which is precious. I was thinking at the time to go around and to try to explain at the time to a simple journalist what Uzbekistan is. And that's where my journey started. It was with this man that I want to mention, because I also want to say that Uzbekistan has always found great talent to represent the country here. Continue with Dilior and with you, Ambassador, always representing very well this country here and being very, very active. So regarding my trips to Uzbekistan, you're seeing a few pictures. So in the past 10 years, I've been 12 times to Uzbekistan. I have visited Tashkent multiple times, Tashkent, the city, but also the north of Tashkent, so it's really the mountains side. I had the challenge at the time to produce an episode for TV5 Monde. For the first time, a TV crew was going there, so it was really an adventure on how to do this. We also visit Samarkand. We also visit Fergana Valley, particularly Namangan. We visit Khiva. We visit Bukhara. So I had an overview of the main cities and destinations of Uzbekistan. But I have to say, I mean, my heart goes to Samarkand, but this is very, very personal, obviously, because Uzbekistan is a diverse country with a lot of dynamics. Here, some of the pictures you're seeing are precisely about Samarkand. There are elements that are going to be shown in the episode that we will screen later. Regarding perhaps the global trends, in fact, regarding tourism, there is, in fact, for me, when we thought about this event of connecting culture with tourism, it made a lot of sense in a country like Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan connects both heritage culture with tourism. So it's a very atypical approach, not original, but an atypical approach. When we think about the dynamics here in terms of the travel and tourism industry, you know, a lot of people undermining this sector. But if you think with me for a few seconds, the travel and tourism industry in 2024 represented globally 10% of the global GDP. When we have now a new commission, von der Leyen decided for the first time to create a portfolio for the travel and tourism industry led by a Greek. This is a sign that there is a change regarding this industry, that we conceive it in a larger spectrum, that we include hospitality, that we include aviation, transport, jobs. So if we compare, for example, with agriculture, agriculture represents 3% of the global GDP. If you think about the automotive industry, it's 3.5, and again, globally, it's 10%. So this topic, to connect it with Samarkand and what is happening in Samarkand, made a lot of sense, because it's 40 years that UNESCO never organized something elsewhere. It's really an amazing achievement of the diplomacy of this country. It took a lot of time to make this happen, and with consistency, because when you think about Samarkand, you have a kind of a Venice approach, in the sense that you have a city center that needs to be protected, but simultaneously around, the country decided to boost it as a destination, as a hub, which sometimes can be conflicted. Because when you think about the hubs, say in the area Astana, where you want to attract international conferences, if you compare with Europe, that's not really the purpose of Venice. But here they find an equilibrium where you have the city center that needs to be protected, and here the notion is to talk about responsible tourism, and simultaneously around to create facilities. So what did they do? They indeed developed the Silk Road Samarkand complex that the ambassador was mentioning, which is the main facility is going to be used for the 2-week event for the UNESCO. That's also another point to be underlined, is that it will be a 2-week event, so with a lot of impact in terms of delegations, in terms of hospitality, even to learn from those that are welcoming those people on how to interact with them. But also the ACI, so it's the entity in globally that manages the airports. They said that the fastest growing airport in 2024 in the world was Samarkand. So that's another element that is indeed going towards this direction. The figures are not impressive if you compare with some key players. They welcome 1.4 million. But for a city that is not a capital, don't forget that, it is indeed impressive. Now, another point that I want to invite for reflection is those who work in this industry, they know that, that we talk a lot about over-tourism and the limits of tourism. And I think for Samarkand, this should be present. We are far from this reality, but it is what we have here in Europe, in main cities such as Venice, Barcelona, Lisbon, where you have day trippers because it is too much. It has impact on the life of people. Citizens struggle then even to cope with prices that are increasing, cope with flats that cost more. Now, the discussion here for Samarkand is, one, bear that in mind. If I could advise the State Committee on Tourism, is to still the growth needs to be fought. There are some elements in the Uzbekistan 2030 strategy, so that's a strategy related to tourism, but there is room for improvement. The second point is regarding the historical sites. They need to be protected because they are unique. Samarkand was really in the roads of the Silk Road, one of the roads of the Silk Road. So it is part of a heritage that goes beyond the city. The third element is it couldn't have a better partner, because if there is a partner that understands these concerns, it is indeed UNESCO, because UNESCO have multiple programs of trying to protect heritage, to protect sites, and are sensitive to this type of issues that I hope will be approached during those two weeks. Regarding the global figures, I think that this strategy that I was mentioning, Uzbekistan declared that this year the goal is 10 million visitors. They seem to be on the right track, and that by 2030 the goal will be 15 million. If you want to compare with some players here, for instance, in Portugal it's 25 million, and in France, which is the leading country competing with Spain, it's 80 million. So to reach 15 million, it is quite impressive for the reality of the area.
Thank you, Antonio. I'll come back to you in a bit. Ambassador, back to you. Let's zoom out a bit. Please tell us, how does this UNESCO conference reflect Uzbekistan's global role in cultural diplomacy?
Yes. First of all, I would like just to add to Antonio, what said by Antonio. There's always room to improvement. I agree with you. And there is a lot of things to do in Uzbekistan in terms of protection of historical sites, improving infrastructure for tourism. But at the same time, if you look last 7-8 years, what has been done during for development of tourism sector, it's huge achievement. And we continue, and you rightly said that our task is 15 million tourists to reach by 2030, and I hope we'll be able to do it together with our international partners, including UNESCO, including Travel Tomorrow and Brussels Press Club. And for answering to the question, Alberto, we see this conference as a long-term investment in international cooperation. Uzbekistan is increasingly recognized as a reliable and constructive partner in cultural diplomacy. Over the past several years, our country has taken significant steps to strengthen cooperation with UNESCO and other international organizations. We have hosted major cultural events, worked to safeguard our heritage, and promoted intercultural dialogue both regionally and globally. You can see large exhibitions of historical and cultural heritage organized in recent years in Paris, Berlin, Venice, and other European countries, demonstrate our aspirations to strengthen the role of cultural diplomacy in international relations. Of course, economic development, attracting investment, or climate change, it's of huge importance. But at the same time, development of culture, development of relations between different nations, preservation and restoration of our priceless heritage, the transfer of our unique tradition and customs to our younger generation is not less important than attracting investment or to modernizing the economy. There is no better way to develop international cooperation, people-to-people times, rather than develop cultural exchanges. So by hosting UNESCO General Conference, Uzbekistan is reaffirming its commitment to support peace through culture, education, and science as a core mandate of UNESCO.
Thank you, Ambassador. Back to Tashkent, Mr. Farhod, you heard Mr. Buscardini mention some of the global trends of the tourism industry, also some figures for Uzbekistan, the 2030 strategy, and the potential of the tourism industry to contribute to GDP and to job creation. Could you share some recent trends showcasing the growth of the Uzbekistan tourism industry?
Yes, absolutely. But I have only one problem, which is time constraint. Because when it comes to tourism potential of Uzbekistan, I can talk for hours. Because first of all, it deserves to be told. And secondly, the transformations going on in this area are truly incredible. Of course, the previous speakers touched upon some numbers. Of course, they are the results of combination of targeted reforms, infrastructure investment, and a strong commitment to opening our doors to the world. The most important moment is that in 2017, our president declared tourism sector as one of the drivers of our national economy, and everything has started from there. What is exciting is the shift in visitors' profiles. We are seeing strong and steady growth from countries outside our immediate neighborhood, countries like Turkey, China, India, South Korea, and Italy. These travelers tend to stay longer, seek rich experiences, and expect higher standards. And that, in turn, is raising the quality of services and encouraging private investments in the sector. We are also actively diversifying what we are offering. Uzbekistan is famous for its rich cultural heritage, but we are going well beyond that now. We are expanding into ecotourism, adventure travel, wellness experiences, gastronomic tours, and different cultural activities. At the same time, we are embracing new global trends in tourism, such as the rise of solo travel, demand for off-the-beaten-track destinations, and new major outbound markets like India and Southeast Asia. We have every single opportunity to move forward. It is safe. We are consistently ranked high on global safety travel indexes. It is best explored off-season, and it is a new and exciting destination for many international travelers. That said, we are fully aware of the responsibility that comes with this growth. Our priority now is to ensure that the tourism development is sustainable, that it protects our natural environments, and at the same time our cultural heritage, and supports, not disrupts, local communities. It's not an easy task, but we are working on harmonizing our policies to align growth with sustainability. And of course, the demand is also visible on the supply side. Our hospitality sector is booming. It really feels like a new hotel opens every week in Uzbekistan, and it's not just any hotel. International brands like Hilton, Hyatt, Marriott, Mercure, and Minion are rapidly expanding across the country. These are creating jobs, boosting local economies, and contributing significantly to national GDP. And we have taken major steps to make travel as easy and welcoming as possible to foreign travelers. Right now, citizens of 95 countries now enjoy a visa-free access to Uzbekistan, and many more can apply through our e-visa system. This makes it simpler than ever to visit Uzbekistan, whether for a holiday, a business meeting, and of course, the upcoming UNESCO General Conference in Samarkand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And perhaps in terms of infrastructure, to add the high-speed railway that you have from Tashkent all the way to Khiva, I believe, that takes you in a couple of hours, where before you had to take a slow train or a plane. Now it's much more efficient to travel between all the major sites of Uzbekistan. Of course, when you host such a big conference, you wanted to create a lasting impact. You wanted to create positive spillover effects in the community. So Ambassador, what are the long-term hopes and expectations Uzbekistan has for the legacy of this event?
Thank you for this question. I think it's a very important question, and I would like to note here two things. First of all, I would say that what we expect from the conference, it's bring attention to of international community to the spheres which are in mandate of UNESCO. It's education, culture, and science. Because we are living in unpredictable, changing world, full of conflicts, full of tensions, and such issues as development of education, science, culture don't get enough attention from international community, more focus oriented to other problems. But as I said, without development of education, science, we cannot talk about sustainable development and long-term development. So the task of the Samarkand conference also will be to bring attention of international community to these very important issues, which have to be always in the focus of international community. Secondly, this event also will highlight Uzbekistan's emergence as a dynamic and attractive tourist destination. Samarkand, was several years ago was named as World Tourism Capital. It was in 2023, and also hosted World Tourism Organization General Assembly. We have invested, as Alberto said, and Mr. Faizullayev said, we have invested heavily in infrastructure, modernized our airports and transport system, and developed new tourism products from cultural and pilgrimage tourism to eco and gastronomic experiences. International media such as CNN Travel and Lonely Planet have listed Uzbekistan among the top global destinations. And we are continuing to strengthen partnership across Europe, including with tour operators in the Benelux region, and we are looking to have more and more tourists coming to not only Samarkand, but coming to Uzbekistan, which is full of marvels as Samarkand, not only Samarkand, but Bukhara, Khiva, Fergana Valley. You can explore a lot of new avenues visiting Uzbekistan. So welcome to Uzbekistan. Thank you.
Thank you. Antonio, we are about to show the 13-minute documentary that you produced. In which year was it?
Before COVID. So
before
it was
COVID.
Last year before
COVID, but still relevant, and a lot of people are still making holiday plans. And what makes Samarkand such compelling? Why should Samarkand be on people's bucket lists?
Yes, so the story about this documentary. So first of all, we produce a TV series called Embarquement, so that stands for boarding in English, and it's broadcast by TV5 Monde. As Alberto said, it's the leading French-speaking television, also created in the 80s. And we produced around over 50 documentaries so far. And Samarkand is our third most successful episode ever. So we work in a multi-broadcast system, so it means that the episode, when it's conceived, we make it in a way that it remains atemporal. So we don't make specific timeline references that will kill the episode in our tomorrows. So the episode remained fresh for, say, 3 or 4 years. So within the 4 years, we reached 25 million viewers worldwide, with a strong focus in Europe and in the US. So in this documentary that I don't know, how many persons travel to Samarkand here? Okay, so that's what I thought. It will be really interesting to showcase this, because I'm sure you will like to travel afterwards, because this documentary is a mix of stories. We will talk here about starting with history, obviously. So you need to know that Samarkand was an important hotspot in the times of Amir Timur. So in his famous empire, Samarkand was the capital. So there is a scene about that. There is a scene about science as well. For those who don't know, astronomy owes a lot to Samarkand, because Ulugh was one of the key characters that identified more than 1,000 stars thanks to the developments at this time. There is a scene about that. There is a scene about cuisine, so the incredible bread from Samarkand, and the way you will see in the orthodox way that it's baked. And obviously there is also fun things to do. So that's why we are proposing here today to screen it. It is in French, but it's subtitled in English, so you can follow if you don't speak French.
Samarkand est l'une des plus anciennes villes au monde et sans doute la plus célèbre de l'Ouzbékistan moderne. Située au sud-ouest du pays, elle a été fondée en 700 avant Jésus-Christ et fut connue successivement sous les noms d'Afrasiab et Marchanda. Son histoire est indissociable de celle de la route de la soie. En effet, Samarkand est devenu le principal carrefour commercial de ce réseau de routes qui s'étendait sur plus de 10 000 kilomètres entre la Chine et la Méditerranée. Pour comprendre le passé glorieux de cette ville, replongeons-nous en 1370, lorsque celle-ci était la capitale des Timurides. L'empire d'Amir Timour, connu en Europe sous le nom de Tamerlan, et de ses successeurs, dépassera par sa taille celui du fameux guerrier mongol Gengis Khan. Il s'étendait de la Turquie jusqu'au nord de l'Inde, en passant par l'Irak et l'Iran. Timour, ce guerrier dévot musulman et homme d'État légendaire, a résumé l'esprit et le rêve de cette ville en une phrase. Nous pouvons voir la puissance de mon empire grâce à ce que j'ai construit. Amir Timour a contribué considérablement au développement des arts et de l'éducation et a laissé à la postérité des chefs-d'œuvre d'architecture monumentaux.
Nous sommes devant le mausolée, connu sous le nom de Gour-Emir. C'est la sépulture familiale des Timurides. Ce bâtiment a été construit à la fin du XIVe siècle et a subi des fortes influences de l'architecture iranienne. C'est la sépulture familiale où a été enterré Timour lui-même, ses 2 fils, 2 petits-fils. Au niveau de l'architecture, c'est assez particulier. 2 premiers bâtiments qui faisaient partie de l'ensemble ne se sont pas conservés. C'était une médersa et une honako. Mais le mausolée lui-même, avec les sépultures de Timour et des Timurides, s'est parfaitement conservé jusqu'à nos jours. C'était un homme qui avait également formulé des conseils très précieux concernant la gestion de l'État, concernant les principes du gouvernement. Et cet héritage n'est pas oublié aujourd'hui.
Grâce à la route de la soie, l'histoire a placé Samarkand à l'origine de plusieurs métiers artisanaux. Parmi les métiers rares qui y ont vu le jour, une place importante revient à la production du papier dit de soie. Ce papier fabriqué ici depuis le 8e siècle est réputé comme étant l'un des plus lisses et des plus résistants. La famille de Monsieur Zarif a voulu récupérer la tradition séculaire de sa fabrication. Une vraie défense du savoir-faire et du patrimoine de la ville.
Ici, à Samarkand, nous avons découvert les secrets de la fabrication du papier. On utilise la même méthode qu'au 8e siècle. Pendant plus de 200 ans, personne n'a pu travailler ici. La restauration a eu lieu après les années 1990, lorsqu'un artisan a décidé de rétablir les secrets de la production de ce papier. Ensuite, les gens ont recommencé à travailler dans cet atelier. Ce papier est fait à partir de tiges de mûrier qui sont nettoyées, bouillies et ensuite séchées. Après l'écrasement des feuilles, on les mêle en l'eau, puis on filtre de cette manière dans un cadre. C'est un cadre normal, dont la taille est de 50 cm. Il existe aussi des grands, mais également des petits cadres. Ensuite, lorsque l'eau ressort, on obtient du papier que l'on extrait du cadre. Voici. C'est une feuille de papier. On superpose les feuilles en les séparant avec une pièce de tissu en coton, une feuille de papier, une pièce de coton et ainsi de suite. On dépose 500 feuilles et ensuite on presse.
Les visiteurs de l'atelier peuvent ainsi assister à toutes les étapes du processus de production, comme la presse ou le polissage du papier. Ce sont ces techniques de fabrication qui lui permettent de résister à l'épreuve du temps, siècle après siècle. Un autre trésor hérité de la route de la soie est le tapis de Samarcande. Tisser un tapis ne s'improvise pas. La méthode est le fruit du labeur et de la créativité de générations d'artisans. Tous les tapis sont fabriqués de façon artisanale. Même les fils en soie sont colorés manuellement et exclusivement par des colorants naturels. De l'écorce de noix, des pelures de grenade et des tiges d'asperges. Aujourd'hui, ils sont en train de faire bouillir des fils de soie avec de la pelure de grenade. Un vrai sauna pour l'ouvrier. Colorés de cette manière, les fils gardent longtemps leur couleur originale et acquièrent avec le temps une certaine teinte dorée. Ici, plus de 40 collaboratrices mettent en place la créativité séculaire de Samarcande. Un travail exigeant et méticuleux. Le plus ancien tapissier de Samarcande est un Afghan âgé de 98 ans. Monsieur Mohamed Ewaz Bagdizi nous guide dans son atelier.
T'as besoin de combien de temps pour faire un tapis? Elle a dit 6 mois. 6 mois.
Bienvenue chez les Zoïdov, défenseurs du pain traditionnel de Samarcande. Célèbre pour son goût exceptionnel, il a la propriété de se conserver pendant longtemps sans rassir. Il se dit que ce pain doit être bon à manger pendant 3 ans. Vendu sur les marchés, sa fabrication se fait en famille, à la maison. Madame Zoïdov s'occupe du pétrissage de la pâte, de sa mise en forme et de son décor avec l'aide de sa belle-fille. Celle-ci porte une robe typique brodée d'or car elle vient juste de se marier. De son côté, Monsieur Zoïdov se charge de la cuisson dans son four traditionnel. Il effectue bien des acrobaties pour placer une quarantaine de pains contre le mur du four. En Ouzbékistan, les boulangers doivent aussi être des sportifs.
Ici, à Samarcande, depuis les temps anciens, le pain est très cher au cœur du peuple ouzbek. Le pain est l'aliment le plus important parmi tous les aliments que l'on peut mettre à table. Le pain est la toute première chose que l'on apporte lorsque l'on dresse la table.
Tous les jours, le pain est transporté par le fils aîné des Zoïdov vers le marché. Comme d'habitude, il retrouve toujours des clients à mi-chemin. Après quelques minutes de marche, c'est ici, au bazar de Siad, que lui et sa mère vendront le pain. Chaque quartier a son marché, mais le plus emblématique est le bazar de Siad, ou Siabski, comme disent les russophones. Ici, nous retrouvons le même esprit que celui décrit dans les récits de l'époque. Une vraie ambiance musicale, des marchands qui hurlent et une multitude de produits colorés. En dehors du pain, on trouve bien sûr de nombreux légumes et fruits, notamment les fameuses pastèques et melons ouzbeks, ainsi que plusieurs épices apportées autrefois par la grande route de la soie. Découvrons les 12 épices indispensables à la cuisine ouzbek.
Ça, c'est coriandre, le grain de coriandre en moulu. Gingembre séché. Paprika doux. Piment rouge piquant. Attention, ça, curcuma, c'est très bien pour la respiration. Aneth séchée. Un petit origan sauvage. C'est anis étoilé en moulou. On ça, basilic rouge-violette, Samarkand. Petit, le cumin. S'il vous plaît.
Ce mélange est un vrai régal pour les yeux, l'odorat et le palais. Au-delà du commerce, la route de la soie qui sillonnait le continent eurasiatique a permis la diffusion d'idées et de valeurs, de cultures et de certaines connaissances. L'enrichissement et le progrès technologique qui en résultaient ont fortement contribué à l'épanouissement et à l'évolution des civilisations. Ulugh Beg en est un des responsables. Si Amir Timur est réputé pour ses conquêtes et constructions, son petit-fils Ulugh Beg a été reconnu comme savant et astronome. Il a construit plusieurs écoles supérieures, des madrasas, afin, comme il le disait, d'instruire l'esprit des musulmans et musulmanes. Amoureux des sciences et du ciel, il construit l'œuvre de sa vie en 1428, le plus grand observatoire au monde.
L'instrument principal de l'observatoire, le sextant, c'était une 6e partie du cercle, long de plus de 70 mètres. Et cet instrument était utilisé pour mesurer les angles. L'astronome qui était là et qui pouvait descendre en bas ou monter en haut pour mesurer les angles des étoiles. Et c'était les dimensions gigantesques de l'instrument qui permettaient d'avoir une très haute précision de données obtenues.
Ulugh Beg a réussi à calculer la position de 1018 étoiles et rédiger un ouvrage majeur, les tables sultaniennes qui fascineront le monde scientifique jusqu'à nos jours.
Ulugh Beg a régné pendant 40 ans au total. C'est un terme considérable pour cette époque-là, mais vers la fin de son règne, c'était son fils aîné, Abdulatif, qui s'est révolté contre lui. Ulugh Beg a perdu dans la lutte pour le pouvoir, a été détrôné et peu de temps après assassiné.
Samarkand est une ville de légende. Ici, chaque pierre, chaque bâtiment témoigne de la splendeur de son passé. Chaque quartier, chaque visage de la ville révèle quelque chose de la route de la soie et de son héritage.
Thank you, dear Antonio, for this great documentary. I think those who have not been yet might be encouraged after watching. I will give the audience the opportunity. Yes, Frank will. Is there a microphone? Yes. Can someone bring it to the front? Because they have to hear us in Tashkent. Wait 1 minute. You'll be quick, right?
Frank Schwalbe-Hoth. I'm one of the founders of the German Greens and the first Green member of the European Parliament. I've been about 20 times in Uzbekistan, 6 times in Tashkent for the Commission, for the World Bank, and now with a project to include Uzbekistan in this trans-Caspian transport corridor between China and Europe. There's a reason why you don't find the buildings outside, the similar buildings outside. You haven't mentioned it. Because when the work was finished, honor killed all the architects and craftsmen. Therefore, they couldn't use their knowledge in other places. The airport is wonderful. It's not only beautiful, it's incredibly modern, it's incredibly functional. And I'm a German Prussian, and I was fascinated every time in Uzbekistan. They promise something and they do it. And they promise it wonderfully, and it's always effective. The largest bazaar in the whole of Central Asia is in Tashkent. Every time I'm going there, I have to buy a lot of things, and Alexander the Great, when he came there, he had a special biological unit. They discovered in Uzbekistan and in Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, the tulips. They are coming from there. Narcissus as well, no, pardon, narcissus, crocus, peach and apricot, and it is a double landlocked country, the only country in the world besides Liechtenstein which has no access to the sea and all the neighbors neither. And it is located, the only country in the world, where all Central Asian countries are linked to. When I was there in the 90s, everyone was nervous because if Uzbekistan would be unstable, it would be a catastrophe for the whole of Central Asia. And for the Chinese, I see a lot of Chinese here, Silk Road, porcelain, spices, and silk, spices, porcelain came, and they left China, which was terrible, because they passed through desert, and another desert, and another desert. Some people died, some camels died, criminals attacked, and then they arrived in Uzbekistan. That was for all these Chinese merchants a sort of paradise. Water, fruit, vegetable, nice people. They sold most what they have to Central Asian merchants, and they then continued the way. Therefore, I'm not only interested in the tourist aspect, it is the people, the structure, the commitment of the people, which makes it a unique place in the world, and I'm always thinking of my years which I had the honor to pass there. Thank you. I have a question. Question. Who from the European Union high structures will be the special guest at your conference? Is it already decided? Clear?
Not yet.
Ursula.
We're discussing. No,
Ursula, you don't
President
think
of
so?
Commission already this year visited Uzbekistan.
Yes, I have a question. No, it's okay. Olivier Riffon from expert in public diplomacy for His Excellence and maybe Mr. Fadilayev. I have heard that Euro session that the government was planning to brand the country or to elaborate a brand or a slogan. Is that a reality? And what can it be chosen to specify the country, to give him an identity beyond Silk Road and tourism?
By brand, you mean the logo? The
branding,
yeah, in general.
It could be a logo. It could be
I think Samarkand already is very good, well-known brand in the world, and of course we are developing tourism industry. Maybe Mr. Fazulay will be more in detail talk about this about branding. But we promote brand of Samarkand, of course, and in general we promote Uzbekistan potential, because it's not only Uzbekistan is not only Samarkand, but Samarkand is more well known in the world. Maybe I will pass floor to Mr. Fazulayev.
Yeah, it's a great question indeed. We are branding Uzbekistan as one of the promising tourism destination, but as part of our strategy, we are branding Samarkand as the hub for MICE tourism. Our strategy is like that. We based our tourism development on cultural heritage, but given our climate, culture and cultural heritage, it has time limit. We can do it only in spring and in the fall. But we want to have our tourism stretched into whole year. And one of the main elements of this strategy is MICE tourism, because MICE tourism doesn't require any timing. For example, in November, we are arranging this event. It is, in terms of culture, it is the end of high season. But for MICE tourism, for example, it's the beginning of winter tourism. You know, we are interconnecting them, and it is our well-designed strategy, and so far it's working. Thank you.
Thank you. And when you speak of stretching the season, of course, you have also winter sports now. You have a world-class ski resort, I think, 2 hours north of Tashkent, around.
Not 2 hours, 1 hour.
1 hour north of Tashkent, Amirzoy. So there you go. That's something for every public. Any other interventions? Otherwise, Ambassador?
No, I would like to
yes,
just
please.
add something. So we are gathered today not only to share information about Uzbekistan's role, to host the UNESCO General Conference or Uzbekistan tourism potential, but also to make an important announcement. It's my great honor to officially announce appointment of Mr. Antonio Buscardini as tourism ambassador of Uzbekistan to the Benelux countries. Mr. Buscardini is well-known, respected figure in international tourism and media community. His consistent engagement to Uzbekistan, sincere appreciation of our culture, his tireless efforts to promote our country in Europe have not gone unnoticed. So, and in recognition of this valuable contribution, it's my honor to present to you, before distinguished guests, Tourism Ambassador Certificate.
Wow.
Please.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations, felicitations.
Thank you very much.
And we are confident that with his ambassadorship, the ties between Benelux countries and Uzbekistan will continue to grow. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just to say a few words, thank you so much, Ambassador, for this gesture. I highly appreciate. For me, it's an honor to represent Uzbekistan, and I will do my best to spread the word. Thank you very much, Ahmad.
Thank you. Once again, congratulations. Now I invite everybody to the taste Uzbek cuisine. Continue our networking during the plov testing.
World Heritage.
Nominated by UNESCO as World Heritage.
Yes, really. Thank you, Frank.